Welcome back to Destiny 2. In this video, I want to talk to you about the dungeons being sold separately when the Witch Queen releases. And the reason I want to talk about it is because I've got my own opinion, and a lot of people have shared their thoughts in the comments of a poll I did in a community post. I put, what are your thoughts on Destiny 2's The Witch Queen dungeons only being available standalone or through the deluxe edition purchase? This had 5,000 votes. 51% said they don't like it, 45% said they're not bothered, and then 3%, because YouTube are fantastic at maths, said other. So 51% of the votes said they didn't like it, and if you take a look at the deluxe edition, for the Witch Queen, for Destiny 2, it's £70. If you don't get the deluxe edition, there's obviously a lot more included with that. I believe you get like 4 seasons and stuff with it. It says here it includes seasons 16 to 19, 2 Year 5 dungeons, an exotic SMG, catalyst ornament, and an exotic sparrow. So you get 4 seasons, 16, 17, 18, 19. You get the 2 dungeons, and I believe these dungeons are going to be sold for £5 each separately. Or it's something like that. But if we take a look at the comments, I mean, I'm not going through them all, there's 175 of them. Someone said, people debating over a $10 dungeon while buying emotes, finishers and ships, etc. for $8 or more. Someone said, I mean, the DCV, so the Destiny Content Vault, is far worse than charging for dungeons. At least that'll motivate them to actually make new dungeons. If you look at the Destiny Content Vault, I think over £130 worth of content has been vaulted. So paid content for the game has been removed from the game because they want to add different stuff in. Someone says on one hand it's kind of annoying and sleazy, especially given how Eververse already cost like £8 for a finisher. On the other hand, look back at this year's seasons and what they offered for a tenner. Like, it's a still, to be honest, I feel if you tuned some prices, brought Eververse down and bumped up seasons a bit, it wouldn't be as big a deal. It's not even about the money, it's confusing and hard to explain to new players who are already overwhelmed. I feel like it should be included with the season pass people purchased for when new content comes out, but not really that big a deal to me because I won't be getting it at launch till I see some reviews first. If they sell just a dungeon for $5 or less without needing the season pass, it could be a good thing. Someone even says, and people thought the game would be different after leaving Activision. The thing is, I've seen people sitting there in the comments talking about this across social media and everything, saying that Bungie are giving away Destiny 2. It's a free-to-play game. They have to make their money somehow. If you look at Eververse, you can buy emotes, finishers, all that sort of stuff. They can make money through microtransactions. They have their season passes. They have full-on expansions. And the one thing people seem to forget is when Destiny 2 first launched, it was not free-to-play. It's only just recently gone free-to-play. And not only that, with previous expansions, you had dungeons. They weren't standalone. They weren't forced through deluxe editions. The entire thing has changed, and it just seems to be a money grab. There are also people saying, oh, I'm not too bothered, I've already pre-ordered deluxe edition. That's another thing people seem to forget. It's not just about what you've purchased and what you want to play and what you're happy with. You have to think about other people. If you look at this, £70, granted you get 4 seasons, but buying this deluxe edition is more expensive than buying a full-on AAA game. We're not talking about a £10 expansion. We're not talking about a free content update. We're talking about a £70 deluxe edition expansion. That's what really gets me. If they had just the fact that after having Eververse charging for the game, charging for expansions, even trying to get people to work towards spending real money for transmog and stuff, they've now gone and said, like even vaulting, like content people have paid for, they've now gone and said, it's either standalone, you're buying it and giving us extra money, or you're buying a deluxe edition, which costs more than a standalone AAA game. That's what frustrates me. Just the fact that it's £70 if you want this deluxe edition, or it's going to be like £5 or £10 or whatever to buy the dungeons. Dungeons are a part of Destiny 2. It just seems as though, like, they left Activision, they've carried on with the game, they've done a lot of controversial stuff, like with the content vault and everything like that, and now all of a sudden They're just trying to monetize every single thing they possibly can. And a lot of people, they're not going to be bothered, like the 45% of the votes on this poll. A lot of people won't be bothered because they've got the money to buy the deluxe edition, they enjoy playing the game, they're going to buy it standalone or whatever it might be. But it's not necessarily about, oh, I've got to buy this, I've got to buy that. It's the more people buy this stuff and they're not too bothered by it, the worse this monetization gets. And at some stage, knowing these game companies, it could get to the point of you having to pay to buy the expansion for, say it's a £40-50 expansion. We'll go with 50 quid. Say it's that much to buy an expansion, they're going to start charging you an extra tenner just to increase your light level, your power level, whatever you want to call it. They'll start doing ridiculous stuff because they'll know they can get away with it. They've never charged separately as a standalone for dungeons before. Now they're going to kind of test the waters and see if the community will let them get away with it. And they'll slowly start monetizing more and more and more and more and more. If you look at other companies, you look at EA, they start adding in all this stuff with FIFA. You've now got animate stuff you can buy for your stadiums. If you look at Ubisoft, you can now buy time savers in pretty much every game they release. The monetization schemes get worse and worse when you let companies get away with it. Bungie should not be getting away with charging extra money for these dungeons that have never cost extra money before, especially when they are vaulting paid content. Because imagine they go, right, you give us a tenner, we'll give you 2 brand new dungeons, but 2 you've paid for through an expansion in the past, we're going to take out of the game. That way, you lose content you paid for, you get a bit of new content, and all they do is make money. I totally get as a business, I say this all the time because I'm constantly talking about companies making money and stuff. But they didn't have to do this. They make money through other means. I mean, even just the purchase of the expansion. I don't think the Witch Queen is going to Game Pass, so everyone's going to have to purchase the expansion anyway. And you've got Eververse, you've got season passes, you've got the expansions. The game originally cost money to buy. Bungie don't need to do this, and that's the irritating part. I honestly believe they are just trying to test the waters and see if the community will let them get away with it. And then over the course of the next few years or whatever, they're just going to keep trying to push and push and push. And it'll eventually, with any game, like this goes for any game, it'll get out of hand to the point where you have the culling on your hands and you're having to pay to play an extra match. But that's my opinion on the dungeons being available only through standalone or the deluxe edition purchase. And I'm going to leave the video there. Let me know your thoughts and stuff in the comments, and I'll see you in the next one. I hope you guys enjoyed it.